Hello and welcome to this episode of Success Energy Show. I have Mr. Howard Wolpoff with me. He is joining us from Texas, right?
Jacksonville, Florida.
Jacksonville, Florida. Sorry, halfway across the world from me, where I am in India, and that's the power of the internet that we have here. Howard is a marketing strategist for Profit Masters. Sorry, just can you just tell me the name of the organization again? Sorry, Robert.
Profit Master Business Solutions.
Profit Masters Business Solutions, and a great marketing strategist for small business owners, solopreneurs, and also he has a great experience working with Fortune 500 companies, several of them. Welcome to the show, Howard. Sorry for a little bit of glitch in the introduction. We have just met, and so I'm just going into a quick recap of everything, whatever we've been discussing. Thank you very much for accepting my invite.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
So, Howard, as I was going through your profile, this thing struck me quite a lot. Retirement strategist. Exactly what you mean by this?
Well, I have a marketing background that goes back 25 years. I've worked with a number of different types of organizations, but it always came back to working with small businesses in different ways and implementing strategies that work for them within those structures. So I did we built a huge sports complex in New York City, right on the Hudson River, and it was finding ways to obviously market the business, but also get other businesses to utilize us for benefits for their employees. I worked with a minor league baseball team here in the United States, and it was promotions and events and advertising to help grow small businesses. We went through the neighborhoods and everything from just an advertisement in the program to big signs in the stadium to events that went on throughout the event. I then worked in radio for many years. I was doing national radio with embedded sponsorships, and then working for a radio station here in Jacksonville, Florida, where I really was working on strategy for the small business owner to get more people to the message resonating and get more people as clients. I've worked with marketing advertising agencies where really we're coming into lots of different types of strategies to help business grow. And now I spend my time individually with small business owners implementing different types of strategy to address their pain points and to really get their revenues flowing. As many should be aware, most small business owners got involved in their business because they had a passion for something, right, whatever that something is, but they really didn't have the training to be a business owner. They've kind of learned things along the way. Some of them good, some of them bad, some of them working, and a lot of them not working. And that's where the right strategies can help fix those and then really rehabilitate certain other parts of the business.
That's fantastic, actually. See, as I look at it as a small business owner myself, it's all about revenues and it's all about realizing your dream of running a business. Sometimes running a business becomes such an activity that you just don't find time for anything else and not even time for enjoying your revenues that you may eventually be able to create. So that's where work-life balance and all those things come into force. But many of the solopreneurs and many of the small business owners, like myself also, we get so engrossed in the business activities. And it's like it gives us a kick to just have a jam-packed day. I don't know about others, but it definitely gives me a great kick to be able to run a business smoothly and efficiently and productively. And that's just the fun part of it. So, when you come across small business owners and solopreneurs, uh, what do you see? Do you see a lot of them dejected, or do you see them very active, kind
I
of pursuing their dream very
I see a little
passionately?
bit of everything. You have
Okay,
a lot of people who can be very busy all day and still accomplish nothing that profits their business.
right, right.
Um, with the COVID-19 coming into affecting everyone's lives in different ways, Video conferencing and video networking has really exploded. And you can be on 5 or 6 networking events during the day and one-on-ones with people. And it seems like you're getting a lot done because you are making relationships, which are very important. When you look at now, your week is done. Did you make any money? A lot of people are in the category of saying, no, I didn't make any money. You have business owners who are trying to figure out, how do I find business in this new environment, this new economy? I'm working with someone right now who really hadn't marketed themselves at all. Now we're trying to market them within this economy to generate business, and that's and that's, some people it's baby steps to really start doing that, and some people it's a very large step to get to the next step where they need to be. So there are ways to be busy and not as productive in your business. And you come home all day and I'm exhausted, but what did you do? You made some nice relationships, but they didn't turn into sales and dollars. And that's where the big challenge is.
Yes, yes, indeed. And especially it is very evident these days for just about everybody. Because businesses have gone down, markets don't have that much of money, people are not spending that much, and pushing through forceful marketing is not really working anymore. So visibility challenges have also cropped up quite a lot for just about everyone. So Howard, what do you suggest? How do you most productively teach people to turn their time into activities which generate money?
Well, it depends on the person. I've had lots of different types of conversations with people with regard to what they're doing, how they're doing it. I was in a networking event about 2.5 weeks ago, and the whole focus was teaching people how to better pitch themselves and do elevator pitches, which is very important. I think one of the most, I've been on a top 10 list. One of the top 10 things you need to do in this environment is update your elevator pitch, because you never know who you're speaking to, and you have to be powerful in making your a good understanding of what you do, so a conversation can immediately start. So
Yes.
all 3 of the other people in my little breakout room, one didn't really have one, so she kind of spoke off the cuff, and 2 had them, but they kind of rambled and didn't really say anything. And so I started being the teacher, and I gave mine, I gave lessons to what they did, and I said, look, write it out, email me your elevator pitch, and I'll work on it and give you, and you can take it or not take my version, but here's the, so 2 of the 3 took me up on it. The other third is actually within conversation with me and is developing back to that. The one wrote something really nice. I kind of tweaked things and made it a little more powerful, sent it back, and she's now getting better results in her conversations. The other one, I think, is a good example of solopreneurs who kind of have a whole bunch of things they're trying to do, but nothing is actually happening. And he sends me his elevator pitch, and then I went to his website, which was a mess. It really had no rhyme or reason. And I emailed him back. I said, I have to be honest with you, I don't know what you do. I've read this. I've gone to your website. Of course, I try to be nice about it. He was very offended. But to his credit, he gave me some bullet points like I had asked him. Once I had the bullet points, I knew exactly what was in his mind and what he did. So all of a sudden, now he has an elevator pitch that says something. Unfortunately, when I go back to his website, it's not going to translate as much. But that's really part of the key. When it comes to the small business owner who are just having pain and issues, I like working with the ones right now that were having pain in January. It didn't happen when COVID-19 hit. So trying to figure out what they're doing, why it's not working as well. That's a fun challenge. Some of it is very easy. They can't see it because they're in the day to day, and it's their focus is forward, and they'll see the things that go on the side. Once I come in, I can see those things on the side and see.
Exactly.
You're trying to be the boss, the implementer, and the salesperson. You need to hire a salesperson and get that away so more can be implemented into the business. You need to promote yourself. You need to be doing a number of things. Your website isn't speaking to anybody. That's one of the bigger concerns that I spent a lot of time with, and multiple strategies with people's websites. but it's part of making sure that you are having a conversation with prospects that are out there.
True, very true. In fact, incidentally, today I also spoke to somebody, and when I asked them what exactly they are doing, they just said something which is was so generalistic about career planning for students and things like that. When I asked them what is your USP, what is your differentiation point, they were not able to tell me at all because what you call elevator pitch, it's just a two-sentence shortened version of your USP or your differentiation point. What makes you different from the rest of the products and services and people and businesses and solopreneurs who are out there? What makes you a distinctive authority in your field? I'm just telling this to our audience because perhaps elevator pitch may be something which not everybody understands here in India. So I'm just clarifying that a little bit. So this is a problem worldwide. People think that they can go into a profession and they can make the most out of everything, and then just it just doesn't work because of this reason that the unique selling point is not really clear to them. How would it be clear to other people who are going through their websites or who are actually going into a conversation with them? So that's something wonderful you are doing, something very incredible. And people can reach out to Howard through LinkedIn and through. Are you on Twitter? Are we connected on?
I'm very active on Twitter at H Wolpoff, because they have my last name there with the spelling. I'm very involved on LinkedIn, and I'm active in Facebook with a page and a group, and I'm still trying to master Instagram. My head's only go so far, and I took a pause on Instagram to kind of reevaluate my strategy there.
Yes, Instagram is a little difficult because you have to work in pictures, and designing also comes into the whole thing. Definitely, some apps are making it easier, but still, I'm also getting my fingers around it. And so, Howard, tell me what exactly is the process that you use? What is the way forward for small business owners and other people to start creating more revenues?
Well, I guess it's leading into from what we said. It really starts with my elevator pitch, and and again, having something that's really 30 seconds that really tightly describes and powerfully describes what you do. This really starts the conversation right there, and that's when I get people coming to me. So it really starts going with every business that started today. In the next 5 years, only half of them will be around. I work with small business owners who have been working for too long and too hard and really not seeing the results of all of their efforts. Given 45 minutes of their time, I can find ways to triple their leads, double their sales, and find $50,000 more in their business without them spending an additional dollar in marketing or advertising.
Oh, great. That's fantastic.
In truth, I don't just want to be someone's marketing strategist. I want to be their retirement strategist. Mm-hmm. So the goal really is to work with people to focus on what they are doing and implement. I come in with 8 strategies initially that really can boost revenues quickly, because a lot of it is money that's being left on the table that, again, they haven't really been trained on how to best position themselves. And once you start doing that, then you can see revenues growing over the course of year after year. So it's really getting people to sit down with me and really talk about what they are doing and how it works, and then throwing in different strategies to show them how it can work better.
Right. Okay. So would you like to take us through the strategies that you use?
Absolutely. I'll focus on one right now. I think would be a very good idea.
Okay.
So if you want, I have a quick little presentation I can show that describes it, because I mentioned about websites, and that's really the key. A lot of people look at their website as a digital brochure and not a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week salesperson. And there's so much clutter. There's so much battle. If someone's looking for a plumber, they're going to be flipping from website to website until one starts to speak to them. And that's when they'll start to do their research. But really, it's about getting into the head of the prospects that you have, and the conversation is going on in their head. So again, so thank you for opening this up. Every prospect has 2 major points that's going on in their head. And let me, oops, there we go. There's a problem they have they don't want, and there's a result that they want that they don't have. I need to redo my plumbing, so I need to find someone to do it. I can't do it myself. I go hire someone. So the problem is it needs to get done, and I don't have the plumber to do it. I need to paint my house. It's a problem. I need to address it, and I need the right person to do it. So I'm not painting on the doors and the corners and messing up baseboards and so on with different types of businesses. So if you can get into the prospect's conversation that they're having with themselves, then they can have the conversation with you about being the one to do the business with them. So the question really is your website digital brochure or a 24/7 salesperson? The brochure part is important. You have to have information about what you do and your offerings and history about you, but you can't just go in assuming that people are going to know why they want to talk to you. And a lot of websites do that, and they'll go on to the next person because there's something called the conversion equation. And if you pick up a newspaper, for example, you see that they have a headline, and that headline is going to help them sell the paper and hopefully sell the paper more than the next newspaper that it's sold against, that's capturing people's attention. You want that same kind of attention on a website. So the conversion equation is interrupt, engage, educate, and offer. All four powerful messaging so that you can start a conversation with the person coming to your website. So the interrupt is having a headline, a real statement of what you are, what you do, but really starting to answer the question that's going on in someone's mind. Do your walls need to be repainted? Is a very basic statement, but if I'm searching for a painter and my wall can be repainted, I might pause and say, yes, they do. What else do you have to tell me? The engage is your sub-headline. So something that follows in with that reinforces that I know what your issue is and I know how I can help you. The educate really is a pitch of what you can provide and why you are superior to your competition. And then the offer is something that's compelling and irresistible that it can't turn down. Now, the offer does not have to be do business with me, and probably it shouldn't. It should be some way to continue the conversation. And that's the key, because if someone comes to your website and clicks there and is there for 25 seconds and goes away, they are invisible. You have no idea who they are, but you cannot follow up with them. If you're able to figure out how to connect with them on your website in a way that benefits them, in addition to benefiting you, then you have something to follow up with. So basically, anyone who sells knows that there's very few people are that one call close. You're making 5 to 12 contact points, emails and texts and a message on Facebook and dropping by somewhere and phone call. A number of ways to nurture this relationship so that they trust you and have the knowledge they need to do business and be confident. Because buyers are on a journey. They're not just going to somewhere and buying. So if you have a pipe that explodes, it cracks in your house and water is rushing all over the place, hopefully it doesn't explode. You're going to find the first plumber that you can find, get them to your house, and pay them to fix that problem. You are a now buyer. That is very rare. If you want to fix the pipes in your house and replace them and get new fixtures and install this stuff, you're going to do research on and look at reviews and find other information about them. So you're either a future buyer or soon-to-be buyer, because this information process is very important. And you can't speak to your prospect when they come to your website. They're not going to want to have the conversation with you. So a couple of very quick examples. This is a chiropractor, but they're not telling you why they're good about fixing the issues with your back. They're trying to make you think in the future, look how wonderful, I can then go out into a meadow and stretch my arms, my back won't hurt, which most people won't do after going to a chiropractor anyway. So it doesn't really paint the right picture. These are a wealth management company. So 3 men in suits and portfolios without any type of offer on the page whatsoever isn't really giving you the confidence that they know what they're doing. They just know how to pose for a photo. And then my favorite, posing for a photo, this is a plumber. They have the trucks in the back. They have 5 people who pose very nicely in front. This is how what you're coming to when you come to these websites. It doesn't say anything to you. I have no idea which one of these are skilled enough to go underneath my sink to fix my pipe, and that's what I want to know when I get there, because I'm on this journey for information. So here's one example, and this is kind of tie in of what I'm trying to say. This is actually on the upper end of websites, so it has all the drop downs. It kind of has a headline. It has a free consultation. Everyone expects a free consultation, so just by putting it on is not guaranteeing that people are going to want to do anything with you. And it has a specialization. So he also has a video, which is also very important to talk to people. So he has a lot going on the top of the fold. But what if we change it? What if we actually try to have a conversation with people when they get there? So again, he's a child psychologist, and that's very important to know, because those the issues that someone's having with their child is what's going on in their head. So if you have a headline, are you sick and tired of the yelling, screaming, belligerent attitude of your child? If the answer is yes, you're going to pause. And that's a victory right there for this doctor. You can now discover the secrets of controlling your child and instantly restore peace and quiet into your home. This is reassuring, because these are the end goal of what I'm trying to find. So I'm going to want to spend time and learn more. There's a video, which I'm going to go over exactly what it says, and then a box for asking for someone's name and email address. But it's an offer. The offer is learn the secrets of gaining, maintaining complete control of your child in less than 60 seconds. So these tips can be valuable to someone if they never do business with a doctor, or if this is trying to reinforce that the doctor knows what he's talking about, he's well knowledgeable, and they can then want to do business with him after experiencing this. So that is a fair trade-off for giving a name and email address, so they can keep the conversation continue. If the script follows that same pathway as a headline, a subheadline, a pitch, and offer, as a parent, you're struggling to gain control of your child's attitude and emotions. Is your child yelling and screaming at you, or often displaying a belligerent and sometimes threatening tone no matter what you do or try? You just can't seem to get them under control. My name is Dr. John Smith. I help parents like you every day learn the techniques that will solve these frustrating and destructive behavior patterns once for all. In fact, let me prove it to you. Enter your name and email into the box on the right, and I'll send you a series of 60-second techniques that immediately restore peace and quiet into your home.
Fantastic, fantastic.
A great offer, and much better than a website like this, which is just offering a free consultation. And the value that they're getting from it is the doctor's getting is the email address for the next strategy, which is to do a drip campaign of conversation with them, providing more information to do this. So just as an example, I'm not going to go any further with it. The success here, because of the drip campaign, this doctor went from getting 3 new clients a month to 6 with this. He went from getting about 15 or so, 20 to give a name. There's a box where they could have called for the free consultation. And he now got 60 people giving the email address on a regular basis, which he now went into a drip campaign. So instead of 36 new patients over the course of a year that he was getting, he actually got 156 new patients, because the drip campaign continued the conversation with these prospects. And that really is the key to making your website a 24/7 salesperson, because you need to communicate with them and start the conversation somewhere. And this is the way to do it. Show them why you're better and stronger than your competition by giving them something that they can start learning from.
Fantastic, fantastic. This little piece of strategy that you've given is just phenomenal, because your website is always working, even if you are not. So
exactly.
So 24/7 salesperson instead of just a brochure. That's a great thing that I captured from you. Fantastic.
And if you look at those, to go back in your mind of the 3 examples I gave you of the wealth management, the chiropractor, and the plumber, those websites didn't tell you anything. And I might be on there for 2 seconds and go find someone who's going to start to talk to me.
Right. So this is what you, you tell all your small business owner clients and solopreneurs to immediately start working on your website to make it, and it's a very simple process. I think it can be done if somebody has technical knowledge, they can do it themselves. They can build a WordPress website very easily. It's not a big, very big issue. One question is coming to my mind about lead magnets. A lot is being told about lead magnets to be this and that. What exactly is your take on having a good lead magnet on the website?
I think the framing of it, having a good lead magnet on your website, there has to be value connected with who you are. It has to answer it goes back to answering the question in the person's mind. Are you helping solve the problem with what you're giving them? If you're not giving them anything of value, then there's no reason for them to click on it. And there are different ways to create the magnet. I have one that actually is on the end. It's a clickable PDF that they can then click and schedule an appointment with me on this. And I've used that with a lot of my clients. It needs to again, it needs to have value. Otherwise, they're going to start deleting the emails once they're coming in, and you can't continue to have that conversation. I work with people who, among my other strategies, is working with different types of companies and really cutting to, in short, they do a lot of things with weddings. So having a lead magnet, 5 things you need to know to make sure your wedding day isn't a complete disaster, would definitely encourage women to download that PDF to as long as it's answering the questions of why they came to the website in the first place.
Right, right. Should I take this screen off now?
Yeah, I'm done.
All right, okay. Howard, regarding the lead magnets, as you said, definitely value has to be given. But what is the best way of giving out this value? Is it through an ebook or a PowerPoint presentation or a slide deck? What exactly? See, these days I'm working very heavily on online courses, as I've told you earlier also. And I feel an online course or a video podcast is the best lead magnet for anybody these days. What do you suggest about how to go about creating your lead magnets on the website, which can maybe produce more traction?
You have to really, again, tying into what makes the prospect tick, and you can't say, okay, I'm giving them value. You have to get in their shoes and say, are they receiving value? So ebooks are really they're kind of evolving out, because while it could be very interesting, there's not a lot of immediate reward from an ebook, because you then have to read it. It could be 45 pages. It's not 300 pages, but I may not have time to read it, or it's at that moment it means something to me, and then a second later when I'm on to something else, it's in my download folder and I never go back to it.
Right.
The concept of a drip campaign that has multiple pieces to it, so you're teasing them with little by little more, I think brings the most value. So using him as an example, the child psychologist, it was a series of secrets to gain and maintain control of your child, not just one. So there's value there. If you're teaching an e-course, giving a teaser of pieces of the lessons, you may want to go into, I wouldn't say give 3 different sections of lesson 1. You may want to give a little bit of piece of lesson 1, a little bit of piece of lesson 2, a little piece of lesson 3 as you go through. Same way sometimes with major book releases, they'll release the first part of the forward, the introduction, and then tease you enough that you want to read more and go to the bookstore to get it. So there has to be intrigue, there has to be interest, there has to be answering questions, and is this that addressing the questions going on in the prospect's head, and that they're getting value from receiving it. So sometimes it could be a top 5 list, top 5 things to XYZ, or as you say, XYZ, to make something better. And that might be sufficient. It's, again, you have to spend time in that head of your prospect.
Okay. Mainly, I work with a lot of trainers and coaches uh, who are already established or they are also interested in establishing themselves. Uh, so I personally am suggesting them these days to create their online courses because when everything is now moving online, I think having a good video presence is more delightful uh, than just going about reading. I mean, I'm also reading much less, or maybe even an audiobook or an audio podcast would be better because I think we are just getting closer to listening to human voices and seeing human interface uh, much more than what we used to do earlier. That's just my personal opinion. But I personally feel that it's important to have a good lead magnet, and as you said, it may be a short thing, but should be answering a question. Is it necessary to keep changing the lead magnets on the website also from time to time, refreshing it?
I think uh, you need to check the statistics. So if you are tracking how many people come to your website and tracking how many people are downloading the lead magnet from month to month, you'll see whether if things are consistent and it's doing well, don't touch anything. If all of a sudden you were getting 20 people downloading and now it was 10 in June and 7 in July and 4 in August, it could be the traffic, but if the traffic is matching, then maybe it's time to shake it up. You're not speaking to what their needs are. Things change, like the style of clothing changes and the interest of what's the entertainment buzz that's going on, and the movies and TV shows that people liked 2 years ago fall out of favor after a certain amount of time. So it's important that you do stay with what interests um, your prospects, and that's the key for everything. It's when it comes to businesses. In business, you need to present yourself the way your customers want to receive you. It's not always about this is the way I want to do things. Sometimes there's a gimmick or a style that comes along with things. That's great, but you also need to make sure that you are addressing what the customer wants, because they may not care, and it's okay. But if you do things that they want, they'll care a lot more and get excited about it, and they may even become customer evangelists and start telling more people what a great experience they're having with you. So you can only benefit by being more of their partner than just person that sells them something.
That brings me to another question about testimonials. Fine, testimonials and referrals are, of course, great for a small business and especially for solopreneurs. Tell me, what about the marketing? Is Facebook marketing and other email marketing campaigns really producing that kind of results, especially in the present day situations? I see a lot of marketing wastage also happening somewhere or the other.
The, the answer
Sunken costs.
The answer is yes, it is working, but you have to have the right messaging and have the right audience. Sometimes your audience might be too broad, and you're not capturing it. They can really fine tune. You really have to. The best thing to do is actually sit with someone who's an expert in Facebook marketing. Um, Sometimes there are people who do it for free. Sometimes you find courses that will go through things for free or $10, but because it can cost a lot to hire someone to do this. But I spent time talking with someone a couple of days ago, and I learned things I never knew about Facebook ads that really can address the needs that I have for certain things that I'm working on, and certain things I'm working on for my clients. I just spent yesterday about an hour plus speaking to someone who works with YouTube ads, and YouTube ads are are not as saturated. You may think so if you go to YouTube. Oh, here's another ad, but it's really not as saturated as Facebook ads. You'll see a lot of the same ads more and more on YouTube because that's just they need to run them that way. But also, you can get so targeted with what you're addressing because you know what your audience wants. And why is that? Because they're clicking on a certain type of video. If you are selling a course and you see all these popular videos of certain people who are talking about their courses on YouTube, and you see those ads running in front of them, what if you have your ad running in front of it? Now, granted, you have to do the video or create a video ad that's compelling and have all the right pieces to it. But you hit your target market right there, and you can figure out how to grab them in the first 5 seconds. They'll stay past that area where they click away, and your win can be if they're not interested and they don't wait 30 seconds, you don't get charged for the ad. So that first 5 seconds, they didn't cost you anything to run that. So if it didn't work and wasn't the right person, good, shoo them away. They're not the right person. But if you have the right people and they go deeper in, you can really get their attention, and then they can go click and order yours and then go back to whatever video they want to watch. So again, it's knowing your audience and figuring out the best way to speak to them.
Fantastic. Fantastic. I think that just summates everything because that's how a small business or a solopreneur should run their business. It's 24 hours and 24-hour journey for everybody, but then you can ease it out by using tools, simple techniques, simple strategies, which can make a lot of sense and can enhance the revenues tremendously, as Howard just told us. Thank you very much, Howard. We are almost at the top of the hour. If you want to give any other nugget of advice to our watchers, that would be fantastic.
The biggest piece of advice I can give to anybody is you're never too old to learn something new. The biggest advice, there's so many things out there, again, whether it's a course or just finding, there's so many free webinars out there. Your business can only get better if you learn something that can be implemented into it. And I'm always available to answer questions. Again, I'm at profitmasterbusinesssolutions.com, and you can find me on social media. All my links are there as well. Always ask. You never know what great things you're gonna learn from asking questions and asking for help.
Fantastic. And asking for help is really important because we also got connected through one of our mutual friends who was kind enough to make this connection, and then I went to process and spoke to you. So Howard, thank you very much for being here. It's just been a fantastic journey of this episode with you, and I'll stay in touch with you so we can keep learning from you again. And thank you so much for appearing on the show. And thank you for the
so much for having me.
Thank you.